Hello, we are beginning our moderation. Unfortunately, Sarah and Melinda, they are currently doing professional placement at the moment, so we're just doing part one of our moderation process of Year 7 Ancient Rome, with the process of the chosen figures. In the meantime, I'd like to introduce Kate and Jamie, and we're going to go over
Hello.
and moderate our answers. All right, so let's begin. So,
Should we start with student one, who is our lower student?
Yep.
Cool, that sounds good. So if we refer to the rubric and okay, so what did you guys think for design elements, titles, and images?
so initially, Google.
Yeah, you go, Kira.
So initially, like, though the placement of the image is accurate and the way they sectioned it off, it is readable. It's not giving out proper details or quite the right highlight of illustration of what Julius Caesar has done. Even like the fun facts, like Caesar was stabbed many times during the murder by a physician, but there's no mention of specific dates or what led to that. Which
Yeah,
kind
so
of like,
it's not eye-catching, is it?
yeah.
No,
And
it's
it's kind of, there's lots of spelling and grammar errors as well, but they
yeah.
have presented work as well, so which I think we should take into consideration.
Yeah, they have
Did we-
sectioned it fairly well. It's quite easy to read, but it
Yeah.
it could use some improvement in terms of design and making sure that it includes the necessary elements, because I
And
think
yeah, in detail.
yeah, the image doesn't have a caption. They have a title. They do have subtitles at least.
And it's not a complete bibliography either. There is one there, but
No.
it's just links isn't really kind of what we asked for in this assessment.
No, it's definitely a copy and paste kind of assessment there.
What have you guys awarded this?
So I actually awarded it. I felt like I was being a little generous with 10.5. Though like it was a bit of a copy and paste build. They didn't really consider the structure or particular thing. They did use the design as readable. They did highlight certain key facts. They did demonstrate some purpose of the role of the chosen figure. However, they did not communicate the actual release of the time or customs, and like it appeared like, personally, I feel like bibliography, it did not look finished. It just had URLs.
Yeah.
There was no specific areas or links to. And as we can see from our fellow colleagues, Linda, she mentioned that like it was 3 lessons. They had time to do this.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
And let's look a bit up Sarah's. There was not actual many credible sources to actually present. Anything you'd like to add on?
I would sorry. I gave it
Yeah.
an 8.5. I think I gave it the lowest mark, but only by 0.5. I just think it doesn't really show the fact that they have understood or really taken in any of the information they've included there, given that, like, if you go into all of the websites that they've included, you can actually see word for word that they've just copied and pasted.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think that's probably sorry.
Yeah. No,
that's
that's
probably a good
okay.
opportunity because Kira and I might have marked maybe a little bit more generously. I gave a 10, Kira gave a 10.5. So I'd definitely be happy to maybe reconsider that. Maybe like a 9.
Yeah, I think
9.5.
Melinda's put a 9 as well.
All right.
Cool.
So
Should we highlight that on there?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go into the group rubric Word document and let's go. And so with research information, it's safe to say it was working towards the standard.
Yep.
Yeah. I'd probably
highlight.
Oh, yeah, for the historical figure interpretations.
Are you highlighting it on there right now, Kira?
Yeah, just had to make sure it's a bright enough color.
Yeah, gotcha. Can you see that, Jamie?
No, I can just see the Google Doc, but that's okay.
Okay. But I will, and just for the record, yeah, there will be another meeting tonight with Sarah and Melinda just to go over the moderation of this brief meeting. So with historical figure and interpretations, I did the 1.5. Are we, and from what we just mentioned, I feel like it might be more of a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go all
Yeah.
for 1. Yeah.
All for 1.
And
Yeah,
there was.
Go. You go. No.
That's okay. I felt like it was more of a listing than a description.
Yeah.
Sorry, they did describe some events. You did mention it was more of like a copy and paste. It was not actually from the students' words. So, I'm still going to go with 1.5. But what would you all think?
Yeah, I think we could say they've at least gone through the information and read it enough that they understand that that was what was being asked of
I
them to
agree.
collect.
Totally
And if
agree.
we take into consideration, it wasn't necessarily specified they needed to do it in their own words. However, they
Yes,
have
that's
used
just the
language
general
that
rule.
describes. It is a general rule, but it wasn't explicit. So I feel
Yeah,
like
I
we need to
agree.
be a little bit more generous in terms of that. So I'd say
And reflect on our
1.5.
own rubric. I
Probably.
agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Historical figures of significance listed some roles or achievements. What do we think about that? They technically have described the role and achievement.
Yeah.
But it didn't really show the actual beliefs or values of Rome. So
Yeah.
initially I did go 1, but now thinking back, I don't think it was demonstrated. But maybe because I'm like, we'll quickly have a quick.
Maybe a 1's better because they have listed.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, I
cool.
agree. Okay. Design elements. A poster is missing. So it's got a title, includes a title, an image, and a caption. So that's definitely a 1.5.
Yeah. It doesn't have, like, the image doesn't have the caption, but it does have what's it called? It does have sub like categories, which is leaning more towards the
caption
higher
world.
end.
Yeah.
So
I
I
did
feel
put it
to
into
bring it
civic
up
sections.
one criteria to acknowledge the sections is probably a good thing there.
Yeah.
We can definitely safe to say it's 1.5. Like the heading Caesar was spelt wrong.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I didn't really see many other grammatical errors. It was just the heading itself. I'll just quickly go back.
Yeah. So I'd probably give it, the 1.5 for grammar and spelling.
Design element, the font size, colors selected made it difficult. It's not difficult to read. It's actually quite clear.
Yeah.
The font size, colors
Yeah,
selected.
it's clear, but there's no colors involved or any sort of style.
Yeah, so definitely like maybe a 1.
Maybe a 1?
Yeah, but it is easy to read. I would probably give it a 1.5.
So true.
If we're going just based on criteria and the words used, the change in words is difficult to easy, and I think it is easy to read.
I agree.
Yeah.
Bibliography. I have bibliography entries with some accurate information, such as website name and or URL. That is true.
Same. I gave them a point for including the URLs at the very least.
Same here. Because
what does that all come to?
All right, so let's calculate. All right, so initially we said 9. So we got 1, 2, 3.5, 4.5, 6, 7.5, 9, 10. Oh, and we've got more. Oh, that's for the standard students. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 7, 10. Yeah, 10.
Okay, cool. I think that was roughly around about what everyone gave. I think it's probably a generous mark, but it's probably something we can say with certainty there is definitely things to improve that we can take from there.
Cool. Should we do the high student on a different video so then it's clear? Or just do it on this?
I think we just do it on this.
Do it on this. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's have a look at. So already there's like on two-parters, but they clearly have put a lot more design, effort, and specific facts and details in their poster, especially with the imagery. So
Yep.
I like the fact that they did it as a timeline. However, they have cut themselves short when it comes to description and analysis, because with timelines it's only specific listing and the certain facts. So they have kind of limited.
I will say though, again, just reflecting on the task that we presented, there is no information or explicit stating that any kind of comparison or analysis does need to be included. There's a lot of find me facts, just from what I'm reading and just trying to advocate on the other half, that there's nothing stating that there needs to be any sort of analysis or even comparison between some things like there is within the brief. I mean, the rubric. So I do feel like we need to be a bit more lenient in terms of what the rubric is asking and what we've asked of the students, because I feel like there's a slight disconnect in terms of the asking.
Yeah. However, what they did
you have to be a little bit more lenient.
Yeah. What they did here, it looks brilliant. Like, even the fact,
it's very good on the eyes.
Yeah, and they did the fun fact here, like, pushed from power by her younger brother. Fun fact, he was her husband. So it'd be like, okay.
Yeah. I see they've tried to like kind of include all the information throughout. They have missed some things, and I think they're in terms of what's it called, their presentation, it has, cut them short, as you said, Kira. It is definitely an improvement, and you can see it's clearly in their own words, which is a positive there.
And the way they did the rubric was a lot more effective and more clear and concise. Like, they mentioned the heading, where they found it, year, date. Also, like, if we reflect back to the actual timeline, you can actually see, like, even though it was exactly like referenced, you can see the links more properly. Like, he born in Alexandria, Egypt. When we go back to the bibliography, it goes, okay, summary of Cleopatra, true story, and like you can see there's a bit more links and more research into their chosen figure. And also with the imagery itself, like again, because we've got to remember this is year 7, like
it's definitely like above standard for year 7.
Even the images kind of follow the timeline and kind of try almost visually show the timeline there, which I think is quite creative.
And let's have a look at the reasoning from all our colleagues, including ourselves. So Sarah, she kept it brief, but like as we all mentioned, it was very well presented. They used credible sources and referenced. Jamie, like you mentioned here, they did it in a chronological account. They made sure that you can tell it's actually in depth and with the topic, and also the student, you can tell they have pride in this.
It's a good point.
I think they have. Sorry, keep going.
No, you go. Like, because I'm going over your comments, so definitely add more. I feel like.
All I was going to say is I think they have focused a little bit too much on the design and the visuals. They probably definitely could have gone further in depth in terms of their research.
I think it's easy in this one to kind of get lost in how it looks. But whilst that's a really important element of it, we do really want to know what they know rather than not what they can design.
Of course. Well, you can see though that through the design they've really engaged with the topic.
And Melinda here, she mentioned, like we all mentioned, is quite eye-catching. Also, like she actually mentioned here that we haven't really mentioned before, their literary skills. With, even though it was cut short with the timeline, like the level of describing has been demonstrated still. And also they had, like as we mentioned, they have cut themselves short with the analysis. Like I mentioned here, like the design was all really great, and